Take a look at the markets. Down 250 on the Dow, down 125 on the Nasdaq. Red ink this morning. David Nicholas is with us this morning. Now, I read your stuff. I do, David. And you're telling me that employers can't get people to go back to work, and that's a big problem for the economy. Is it that bad?
Stuart, it really is. I mean, the U.S. economy is set to surge in the coming months, right? Millions of more Americans are getting vaccinated. We're traveling more, going out to eat more. I talked to 3 different restaurant owners over the weekend. They all have the same issue. They just can't find help. One of the restaurant owners in Topeka, Kansas, he owns a bar and a restaurant. He said the day after the latest round of stimulus checks hit, half his staff just didn't bother to show up. There was a McDonald's here in Georgia the day after the stimulus checks hit. The entire staff didn't show up. They had to close the McDonald's for the day. So I'll tell you, many Americans need unemployment desperately, but unfortunately, there's so much free aid going around that I think we're incentivizing laziness in some way. So we need to prioritize getting Americans back to work safely, but just not incentivize and reward those that aren't willing to work.
But the end result will probably be higher wages and better benefits, because you've got to entice people to come back to work, and you entice them with better wages and better benefits. I mean, that could work very much in favor of the economy, couldn't it?
Well, Stuart, remember, in a competitive environment, how high do you need to raise your prices in order to pay staff? Because as a restaurant owner, you've got a dilemma. Either you raise the price of a burger from $15 to $20 and then run the risk of losing customers to somewhere else that may have better staffing. So, yeah, we're going to see inflation. But I think it's for the very reason that we're having to pay workers more that we're going to end up seeing higher costs, because prices are determined by the cost of wages and the cost of those products. So I don't think it's going to be good for the economy, Stuart.
Look, there's a great deal of talk about this extraordinary rally that we've seen in stock prices, and that it's got to come to an end at some point. So some kind of correction or enter into a bear market at some point. Oh, that's the conversation about stocks. What about the conversation with housing? Because that, too, has gone straight up. Whether it's prices or sales or bidding prices, it's gone straight up. Do you think we see a correction or a downturn for the housing market anytime soon?
I don't think so, Stuart. A lot of Americans are concerned about that for a housing crash. I don't see it. And I'll tell you why. It's really a supply and demand issue. Right now, Freddie Mac said, compared to this time last year, there's 50% fewer listings now than there was a year ago. 4 million homes short of demand. Many Americans are waiting for the housing market to crash before they buy. And my advice is you may be waiting for a very long time, because I'll tell you, Stuart, one of the unintended consequences of low interest rates is that Americans buy homes and they sit on it because their mortgage or their debt service payment is so low, they won't even think about going out and buying something else. So I think we're going to be in a prolonged bull market for housing, namely because the supply is just not there, Stuart. That equals higher prices. I think that trend's going to continue.
We shall see. David Nicholas, thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.